Coming up, boggle your brain with a mirror maze.
Create your own cool-tasting kimchi.
Give your thumbs the thumbs up.
And build a battery-powered alarm guaranteed to bust those jelly bean burglars.
Uh-oh, if Grace gets caught, she's going to end up in hot water.
Oh yeah, and she's not the only one heading for a watery experience. Let's go poolside and see if poor old Billy is going to sink or swim.
Billy is so silly. He just can't stay out of the swimming pool. Typical, straight to the bottom. Pity he couldn't stay afloat better. If it weren't for that air mattress, he'd sink like a stone. Curious? It's super easy floating at the beach, so why is it so difficult in pool water? I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
This model has taken me ages to put together. I think when I finally finish, I'll deserve a few treats from my candy jar. Boy, do I love those sweet, sweet jelly beans. Candy. What? My candy jar has been robbed. Aha! There's the culprit, and she's gobbling all my goodies. What I really need is an alarm system on my bedroom door. Okay, I've got a battery, an electric buzzer, and these wires to connect them. I need to find a way to make the alarm go off when she steps through my bedroom door. I'll need 2 pieces of tin foil, some card, and a roll of sticky tape. I'll tape a piece of tin foil to each end of this folded card. So when I bring the 2 sides together, the tin foil touches. I'll pop a piece of foam in there so the sides touch only when someone stands on it. Now I'll build my electric circuit. One side of the card is connected to one of the terminals on the battery. The other side of the card is connected to the buzzer. There. And there. And the buzzer is then connected to the second terminal on the battery. So, now when 2 sides of the card touch, the buzzer will go off and let me know that there's a burglar about. I'll just hide my alarm device here under the carpet and then wait for that pesky thief to appear.
Electricity from the battery powers the buzzer, though only when it can travel from one terminal all the way around the wires and back to the battery again. This is called a circuit. The foil on the card acts as a switch because electricity can flow through it. When the foil is pushed together, the circuit is complete and the buzzer goes off.
Ah, caught you in the act, you thief. Grace will never get past my room alarm again.
That jar full of jelly beans is safe at last. But I don't think Billy's floating technique looks safe at all. And I think he's about to find out why.
Floating in a pool is way more difficult than floating in seawater. Now Billy and I are going to find out why. I reckon it's because ocean water is saltier. To find out, we'll need salt, a spoon, 2 eggs. Well, don't drop them. And some food colouring. We'll also need 2 bowls. One bowl is the sea, the other the swimming pool. I'll get Billy to fill up the swimming pool first. Then the sea. We need more water. While Billy gets that, I'll draw faces on the 2 eggs. Now, first I put salt into our sea. More salt. Now, food colouring. I think the sea will be blue today. Now let's stir the salt so it dissolves. More stirring. So now we have our own mini sea and mini pool. Time for these eggs to take a dive. Now we'll see how they float. Emily and I are going to our friend's birthday party. We've bought her a pair of gloves as a present. And now we're making our own matching wrapping paper. What better to wrap gloves in than paper with hand shapes on it? Aren't hands a funny shape? I've never thought about that before. All my fingers are pretty much the same shape, but my thumbs are quite different. I wonder why. What would it be like to have no thumbs? Emily, I have a little challenge for you. Hold out your hand. I'm going to tape down your thumb. I want to see how you can manage without it. There. Now try and do something. Can you pick up your drink? Ha, no. That's impossible without a thumb. Now try writing something. You can't even pick up a crayon. Life's pretty hard without thumbs. One last test. Can you do up a button on your top? Thank goodness for thumbs.
Humans have what are called opposable thumbs. Opposable means that they are placed opposite our fingers and make it much easier to grab, grip and pick things up. Apes and some monkeys also have opposable thumbs. Some of them even have opposable toes. This all helps them grip better when climbing trees.
I think it's time we all took more care of our beautiful thumbs. Emily and I are going to have the prettiest thumbs at the party.
Wow, so many things we couldn't do without our thumbs. I couldn't thumb a lift,
I couldn't give your silly jokes the thumbs down.
and neither of us would be able to give Sarah's yummy kimchi a well-deserved thumbs up.
Mum's asked me to make a jar of delicious kimchi. It's her favourite. She says to put in lots of salted cabbage leaves, really hot chilies, and plenty of garlic. What happens inside the jar that makes the kimchi taste so delicious? I'm gonna see if I can find out. I have 3 plastic cups, some flour, some sugar, and the ingredient Mum says is a key to kimchi, dry yeast. So I'll write number 1 on this cup, number 2 on this one, and a smiley face cup. That's just for holding water. So cup number 1, it gets 2 tablespoons of flour, then 2 tablespoons of sugar. Stir them up. Now cup number 2, same amount of flour and sugar, but this cup gets a teaspoon of yeast as well. There. Now I stir that one up. Now we put a couple of tablespoons of water into each. Give them both a good stir and wait to see what happens to our gooey mixtures. Well, I've been watching my experiment for an hour and something very interesting has happened. Cup number 1 looks exactly the same as before, but look at cup number 2. It's bubbling and it's grown. The cup has nearly twice as much gooey stuff in it.
That's because the yeast has enzymes in it that break down the glucose in the flour and sugar mixture. That reaction creates bubbles of carbon dioxide gas that makes the mixture expand. This process is known as fermentation. In Sarah's kimchi, the fermentation changes the taste of the cabbage. That's why kimchi is such a popular Korean dish.
No wonder Mum says yeast is the thing that makes kimchi so tasty. I better not eat the whole jar, or there'll be nothing left for Mum.
Finished that one. And finished another one, Ashley. Man, I think I'm turning into a maze master. Can you believe how fast I am at this, Ashley? Oh, Ashley thinks mazes are way too easy to bother with. Okay, I know a way to make mazes too difficult for even her super brain. For the next maze, we're only allowed to look in the mirror. Do you want to try my mirror maze challenge, Ashley? Find a maze that Daniel the Maze Master hasn't already done. Okay, that one. Put it down in front of the mirror. Now this is the interesting bit. I'm gonna block your view of the paper so you can only see it reflected in the mirror. Now try and complete the maze. Pretty hard, eh? You can't even keep your pencil in the lines. And you thought mazes were so easy.
Daniel's mirror maze challenge is difficult because of what is called hand-eye coordination. Our maze master's mind is used to a certain set of signals between his eyes and his brain. But when the mirror reverses the image received by Daniel's eyes, his brain has to work out a whole new way of telling his hand what to do. It's slow at first, but if Daniel did it for long enough, his brain would get used to the reversed image and his maze drawing would get faster.
Finally, a maze puzzle to impress Ashley and challenge the master. Now that's what I call an amazing back-to-front brain teaser.
Wow, that really had my head in a spin for a while there.
Yep. And Jade and Billy are starting to get their heads around what floats and what doesn't.
We're about to find out how our eggs float in our mini pool and our mini ocean. First, I'll put my egg in the salty water. Hey! It sinks, then it floats almost back up to the top. Now Billy's turn. Into the non-salty water and straight to the bottom. Yep, sank like a stone, just like Billy.
By adding salt, Jade has increased the density of her water. The denser water makes it harder for gravity to pull the egg down, so it floats higher in the water. Billy's unsalted water is less dense than Jade's, so his egg goes straight to the bottom.
Well, if Billy's going to become a top-class floater, we either have to fill our swimming pool with salt, or Billy's going to have to learn how to keep that air mattress under control.
Hang in there, Billy. You'll work it out in the end.
Speaking of endings, we've come to the end of another show. See you next time.
Coming up, a brilliant backyard balancing act.
A foolproof way to catch funky-looking fish.
A cunning trick for threading thick cotton through a tiny needle.
And a cool way to cram a large coin through a small hole.
But first, Dana, what are you doing?
I'm practicing. One day I might just be good enough to join Jordan's Backyard All-Stars band.
1 and a 2 and a 3. We'd love to have our own rock band. Me on guitar, Grace on keyboards, and Patrick going wild on drums. Oh, it's no good. Come on, guys. We've got to do something about having no instruments. We're gonna make some that make real music. Right, the most important instrument in the band, a guitar. I got a cardboard tube, tissue box, rubber bands. How does that make a guitar, you may ask? All I have to do is make a small hole in this side of the box, then stick the cardboard tube in here and tape it up. See, it's already looking like a guitar. Okay, so now I need my strings. Just pull those around the box. Not too tight, guys. And check it out. One rock and roll guitar. Now we can think about keyboards. Grace, get those fingers limbered up.
Abdul and I are expert fishermen, but we just haven't been lucky today. Wait, I think I got one. Oh no, it was just a piece of weed. I don't know why we can't catch anything today. Maybe we're using the wrong bait. Hey, I know another type of fishing that would be a lot more fun. Come on. Let's head back to shore and I'll show you my plan. We're home in record time. Let's go. I got the shiny cardboard here. We'll each take a piece and draw a fish shape on it. The silver side of the card will make our fish easier to see underwater. Now carefully cut out the shape. Hey, nice fish shape, Abdul. Then we slip a bulldog clip over their mouths. It'll make our fish heavy enough to sink to the bottom. Now here's my new fishing bait. We're gonna try out at sea. It's a magnet. We tie a magnet onto the end of our fishing line. Let's test them. Yes! The fish can't resist our magnetic bait. Let's go back out there. Hey, Abdul. You know how the magnet bait works on dry land? Do you think it will still work underwater? I don't know if magnetism does work through water. We'll just have to try. In go the fish. Okay, first to catch a very rare and delicious magnet fish is the winner. Come on, fishies. Come to my yummy magnet. Yay! I've got one. Abdul caught one too.
Well done, boys. Yep, magnetism is a force that works through water. In fact, not much gets in its way at all. Magnetic forces can even pass right through solid objects, like the Earth itself, which behaves like one big magnet, surrounded by its own gigantic magnetic field.
There's just one problem with these magnetic fish. They're not gonna be very tasty.
Nothing wrong with cardboard fish, I say.
There wasn't much wrong with Jordan's cardboard guitar either. And I can't wait to see what Grace is going to come up with for her killer keyboard instrument.
We've already made a guitar. Now Grace has a cool idea about how we can make a keyboard instrument. Okay, she's lining up glasses and tipping water in. Ah, all at different levels. Interesting. I see. Go maestro. Cool, eh? The water level makes the glass sound different every time the spoon hits it. Now stand by for some ear-splitting drums.
I like sewing my own clothes, but I don't like having to thread the needle. Sometimes it just takes me so long to get it through. Hey! Here we go, John to the rescue. Oh, talk about beginner's luck. Thanks. Jordan thinks he's so smart. But I know a trick that'll show he can't do everything. Oh, Jordan! Can you help me for a minute? I want you to thread the needle for me. But I want you to thread it with one eye closed. It's not so easy now, is it, Jordan?
We can see even small objects quite well using one eye. But we need both eyes to help us judge what is close and what is far away. Because our eyes are spread apart, they can judge distances much better when they get a fix on an object from two angles. This is called depth perception. And two eyes are definitely better than one.
Looks like Jordan has met his match.
Oh, man. I can't even thread a needle with both eyes open.
Well, you'd better look at Emily's next little trick. That's what I call a real eye-opener.
Ah, it's Kimberly. And there's the lunch money she owes me. Thanks, I needed that. My money jar's getting very low. Uh-oh. There's a hole in my pocket. And the money's gone straight through. You think it's funny, do you? Come on then, smarty pants. I've got a little game for you.
I'll give you back all the money you just gave me if you can pass it through another type of hole. Okay, I'm going to trace around this small coin to make a circle. Now, I fold the circle in half and carefully cut it out with the scissors. There. What we end up with is a hole smaller than this large coin. My challenge for Kimberly is to pass one of the large coins through the much smaller hole. She'll never get it through like that. Hey, no tearing the paper! Don't you believe I can do it? Watch and learn, Kimberly. Fold the paper in half like this and place the coin in the fold. Then carefully bend open the hole while it's folded in half. There. Easy. I guess I'll be keeping the cash.
A coin trick like this is a great example of the science of changing shapes and surfaces. By folding one shape, it can be made to stretch around a bigger shape, even though neither object actually changes size.
Thanks to sheer cleverness, my money jar gets a top-up after all.
Look at Lara, lady of the manor, and I'm a slave for the day. Hey, I just thought of something that might let me escape from this slavery. Okay, Lara, how about taking a glass, a cork, a toothpick and 2 forks and balance them all on this glass with only the toothpick touching the glass? Wrong, all 3 things have to balance. It's still wrong. They must all balance, but only the toothpick touches the glass. Let the master show you how it's done. First you stick the toothpick into one end of the cork. See? Now stick one of the forks into the side of the cork and a second fork into the cork at right angles to the first fork. There, see? Forks at right angles to each other. Now I'll try balancing it on my finger and lowering it onto the rim of the glass. Yay! There we are. Victory is so sweet.
Zach's trick is all about the centre of gravity. All objects have a centre of gravity. It's the point at which the downward forces of gravity are balanced at one point in the sideways direction. The centre of gravity doesn't have to be located on the object, but can be somewhere around the object, just as it is at the point where the toothpick touches the rim of the glass.
Now it's my turn to be Lord of the Manor. Make it snappy, please, slave. Now that was a challenge worth winning.
Music to my ears.
No, it wasn't. It was disgusting. I think it's time we went back to some real music.
Every band needs some rhythm. And Patrick is a master of improvisation. He's going to need a whole drum kit. And those kitchen containers are making all the right noises. Excellent! We're almost ready for our first live gig. Come on, guys! Great! Our audience is here. Just a little tune-up, and the Backyard All-Stars are about to hit the big time.
All of the instruments work because of the way sound vibrates through different objects. Plucking the rubber guitar strings causes them to vibrate. The vibrations then bounce around inside the box in the neck, making a guitar sound. And each time Grace taps a glass, it vibrates at a rate depending on the water level. The higher the water level, the less glass there is to vibrate, so the higher the musical note. Patrick's drums also vibrate when he taps them, but the larger area on top of the drum vibrates at a slower rate. That makes a deeper sound. All the different sounds combine to make a band. Go, you Backyard All-Stars!
Not bad.
Maybe just a bit more practice before we hit the big time. Till then, rock on!
I really wish I could join the Backyard All-Stars. Although it wasn't very nice of their audience to disappear like that.
That's true, Dana. But our audience is about to disappear too, because we've come to the end of another show. See you next time.
Coming up, how to outlast and outblast your buddies in a snowball fight.
Beat your mates with a balloon-powered racing car.
Show up a muscle man with the sensational power of salt.
And how to turn a sinking marble into a floating success story.
How on earth do you get a heavy old bag of marbles to float?
Good question. I'll just go off and soak in a tub while we try and find out.
And not so fast, Dana. I think somebody's already beaten you to the bath.
I'm in here.
Whoops. Mum's still in the bath. I think it's Mum's favourite place. Why don't I make a special potion to make her bath times even better? Hey, China, want to help me make some bath bombs for my mum? Come on. Okay, I have everything we'll need right here. That's witch hazel in the spray bottle. You can buy it in a pharmacy. Baking soda. Pastry cutters for shaping our bombs. A whisk. Some citric acid. And some food colouring. Our bath bombs are gonna go off.
Cheyenne and I are losing the snowball fight big time. Okay, we concede defeat. Round 1 of the great snowball fight goes to Dylan and Chase. Cheyenne and I need to build up our stock of snowballs before round 2. But we need to stop them turning to mush. Hey, mittens stop our hands from freezing. I wonder if they'd stop a snowball from melting. Let's take 2 snowballs inside. I know just how to find out if mittens can work like a mini fridge. Now, we'll put each snowball in a plastic bag. Seal them up to stop the water getting everywhere. Now I'll get Cheyenne to put one of the plastic bags inside one of my mittens. And I'll leave the other one there just in a plastic bag. Now we'll keep checking them to see which one melts first. Aha! The snowball in the mitten didn't melt nearly as much.
The reason the snowball in the mitten melted more slowly is that the mitten material contains air gaps. Heat travels very slowly through air, so the gaps acted as an insulator, preventing the snowball inside from changing temperature quickly. But plastic has no insulating air gaps, so the snowball inside melted much faster than the one in the mitten.
Okay, let's get all the mittens we can. We filled the mittens with snowballs and built up a whole arsenal of freezing cold missiles. Take that, you guys! We've just won a stunning round 2 victory.
Great comeback, Gabrielle. You sure bombarded those guys with some awesome snowballs. And speaking of bombs, I think it's time we checked on the progress of Kimberly's bath bombs.
Here's how to make brilliant bath bombs. Measure out about half a cup of baking soda and put it into a mixing bowl. Then we need about half as much citric acid in the mixture. We've got to blend this super well, otherwise the bomb won't detonate when it hits the water. Good, that should be it. Now for a few drops of food colouring to make our mixture a lovely pink colour. Now China's squirting in some witch hazel. It's a natural plant product that makes the ingredients all stick together. 2 or 3 squirts into the mix is enough to do the trick. Okay, Make a lump of the mixture like this, then pack it into the moulds before it gets hard. Carefully press it into all the corners of the mould, tap the shape out, and leave it to dry. They look good. Let's try making a few more. We'll make up the same mixture as before, but this time let's make blue bombs. Now we add a few teaspoons of olive oil. It ends up in the bath water and makes your skin extra soft. We're also going to add a splash of yummy lavender oil to make them smell really nice. Squash in some witch hazel again and stir everything together. Then press the mixture into the moulds and leave them to dry out. I can't wait to try one. I wonder if Mum's out of the bath yet. Probably not.
Down to the test track to try out our new racing cars. Marcus and I have made them from boxes, drinking straws and cotton reels. Oh dear, I'd hardly call them jet-powered. Seems like Marcus has got an idea though. Aha, good one, Marcus. He really is making our cars jet-powered. Powered by a jet of air from a balloon. Go, Marcus. I'm going to give mine a jet turbocharge too. Time for a test run. Yay! They go like rockets. Okay, our jet-powered engines are fueled up and ready to go. Okay, racers, start your engines. 3, 2, 1, go! Awesome! Orange wins and green comes in. Well, bad luck, Marcus.
Marcus and Nicole's cars are propelled along as high-pressure air trapped in the balloon is released. As the air is forced through the balloon's nozzle, it encounters resistance from the still air behind the car, which pushes it forward just like a real jet engine.
And now for race 2. I win again! Looks like it's back to the drawing board for Marcus.
Oh, well, nothing a little bit of backyard testing won't solve.
Which is exactly what Lara's about to do. She's trying to make marbles float.
I'd love to be a sailor, living a life of adventure on the wide blue seas. My little red boat would sail through even the roughest storms. Oh no! Little red boat sank when it filled up with water. It must have been too heavy. But real boats float and they're heavy. I'm going to find out why things float. First, I'll try floating a marble in this bowl of water. It's not very heavy, but it sinks. What about a smaller one? No, it sinks too. This modelling clay isn't very heavy. I wonder if it floats. Nope. Straight to the bottom again. Maybe if I make it flat, that'll help it float. If I just squish it on the table here, now it's flat like a leaf. And leaves float. No, it still sinks, though a little slower than before. My little red boat floats, and it weighs about the same as the modelling clay. What if I try making a boat shape out of the clay and see if that keeps it on top of the water? I think I'll name it the good ship Lara, after me. Yay! It floats really easily. I reckon it could even take some cargo. How about a few marbles? One big marble? No problem. 10 marbles and the good ship Lara is still sailing.
An object will float if it weighs less than the amount of water it pushes away or displaces. A marble and a ball of clay weigh more than the amount of water they displace, so they sink. But making the modelling clay into a wide boat shape increases the amount of water it displaces, so it can float.
My new boat seems to be unsinkable.
Uh-oh. Maybe I spoke too soon. Now it's sunken treasure.
Look at Tamiana go. He's pumped. Those new dumbbells have made him think he's a superhero. Well, I've got a little strength challenge for his new muscles. And he might just find he's not as strong as he thinks. Hey, Mr. Muscles. Bet you can't tear this piece of tissue paper. I like your confidence, Tammy. I'll just put the paper over the end of this cardboard tube and attach it with a rubber band. Next, I'm going to pour in some salt to about halfway up the tube. Now, Mr. Universe, can you break through the tissue paper by smashing down on the top of the salt with the handle of this mallet? Haha, you can't do it. That tissue paper is too strong for you, Mr. Puniverse.
There are thousands of grains of salt in the tube, and between them are tiny spaces filled with air. As Tamiana bangs down on the salt, all his energy pushes the grains closer together. There's no energy left to break through the tissue paper.
It's no good, Tammy. You can't do it. Time to let a strong woman show you how to tear the tissue paper.
Boy, Carrie Ann sure blew Tammy's strongman act out of the water.
And I can't wait to see if Kimberly's bath bombs are going to do much the same thing.
China and I have made up some bath bombs to give to my bath-loving mum. The blue ones even have some skin-softening olive oil in them and a dash of lavender oil to make them smell sweet. After 3 hours drying, the bombs are solid and ready. Let's go try some out. Yes! Mum is finally out of the bath. Okay, watch this, China. Here goes. The big fizz test. Cool! Look at that explosion! What a great way to make bath time even more fun.
The fantastic fizz that happens when the bomb hits the water is the result of a chemical reaction. The citric acid reacts with the baking soda to create carbon dioxide gas bubbles that fizz away into the water. As the bomb dissolves, the lavender fragrance is released. How relaxing.
Uh-oh, only one left. I suppose we could give it to Mum. Nah, this is too much fun.
Right, that's it. Now I'm really going for a good long soak in the bath.
Actually, Dana, we're all going, because we've just come to the end of another show. See you next time.
Coming up, invent your own heat-keeping teacup.
Learn the secret of levitating limbs.
How to stump a strongman with a puny little pencil.
Then spear it straight through a water bag without spilling a drop.
Now that I have to try. Stand back, Dana. I need a little space.
Speaking of space, slow down, Taryn. We have a real space story first, because Larissa's suddenly become moonstruck.
I think the moon is amazing. Look, craters of all different shapes and sizes. I know meteors hurtle through space and slam into the moon. That's what makes craters. But why are some bigger than others? Is it just because some meteors are bigger? Or does their speed make a difference? Hey, you guys! That's my moon! You can't run off with my moon! Give it back, you galaxy-stealing villains!
I was in the middle of using that moon for something. Right, that's it. Game over for you two. Hey! It's left a crater in the sands. I've just thought of a way to find out why some moon craters are bigger than others. Come with me, you two space monkeys.
Jordan, Nicole and Damon are doing their homework out in the garden. Hey guys, you all look really bored. Come on, wake up. I want to show you my latest trick. I have a magic plastic bag that will never leak. I'm going to fill it up with some of this water. Now I'll seal up the top so it doesn't spill over. There! Now do you think I can fill this bag with holes and not spill a single drop of water? I'm going to take this pencil and stab it right through the bag. Just like this. Look, not a single drop has escaped. That was no fluke either. I can do it again. Easy. Now pencil number 3 goes through here. And still not a drop has leaked. One more. There. 4 pencils in the bag and the water just won't leak out. Magic.
The bag is made of plastic, which is quite stretchy. This is because its molecules are formed in long chains known as polymers. When the tip of the pencil goes through the side of the bag, it's really just slipping in between the stretchy chains of molecules. The molecules then seal back around the pencil so that no water comes out.
See, I told you it was a magic bag. Here, you guys have a turn. I've got to go. Start by pulling out the pencils.
All of a sudden I'm having second thoughts about this. And I think Larissa's been having some second thoughts too about what causes moon craters.
When Michael threw my ball into the sand, a great idea hit me like a meteor. I thought of a way to find out why some moon craters are bigger than others. I just need to borrow a bit of sand from the beach. This is going to be the surface of my moon. We'll just smooth it all out so it's flat. I'll get Michael to spray the top with water. That'll make the top layer of sand stick together, a bit more like the moon's crusty surface. Those marbles are going to be our intergalactic meteors. We'll drop 1 each from 3 different heights. I'll stand on the bottom step and drop mine first. Now Tyner will drop hers from 1 step higher. That way it'll be moving slightly faster when it hits the sand. Okay, now Michael will drop his from 1 step higher still. That'll be the fastest meteor. I knew it! Our meteors were all the same size, but the fastest meteor left the biggest crater. Now let's try bigger meteors. These golf balls are bigger and heavier. Meteors away! Yep, the larger meteors create bigger craters. What about when they hit the moon at an angle? Would it make a different shaped crater? Let's prepare our moon surface for more testing. Now let's hit it with an angled meteor attack. The craters aren't as round as before. The impacts are not as round as before. They're wider and more oval shaped. They spread out as the meteor skids to a stop.
A meteor is a rock travelling through space. It can leave a crater when it hits another object, such as the moon. The size of the meteor and the speed at which it is travelling does affect the size crater it leaves. On planet Earth, there are about 120 known meteor craters.
So now we know what happens when meteors hit. I wonder whether any have hit around here. I'm going to go looking for my own meteor.
Paul and I can't sit still for a minute before we set each other another challenge. The old arm wrestle. Nah, he's too strong. Paul wins that one every time. Back to the puzzles. I need a new challenge. Hey, this pencil. Yes. This pencil is as light as a feather. Let's see if Mr. Strongarm can hold it up for 5 minutes. Easy, he says. We'll just see. Okay, the timer is on. 3 minutes. His arm is starting to look heavy. I bet he can't make 5 minutes. That lightweight pencil is beginning to weigh him down. 4 minutes. The next minute will be the real test. He's down! Now we're even.
Holding your arm out for longer than 5 minutes is hard going because our body needs to supply extra blood to the muscles in the arm doing the work. And another thing, while Paul's muscle was working, something called lactic acid built up in his muscles, making his arm feel stiff and sore.
Man, that really was some challenge. I think Paul's arm wrestling days are over.
Taryn thinks he can hold his arm up longer than Paul did. We'll see about that. And while I'm waiting, I think I'll have a nice cup of tea, just like Grace.
There's nothing better than a good book and a nice warm mug of tea. Oh, it's gone stone cold. Heat must have escaped out of the top for sure. And maybe through the sides. Right. Time to invent the perfect heat-keeping cup. I'll start by wrapping some shiny foil around one of my jars. Now I'll fill it up with warm water and pop the lid on. And I'll put some of the same warm water in this unprotected jar. Then I'll sit my heat-keeping jar on a piece of cork inside the larger container. Inside it goes, and the lid goes on. Now we just have to wait a few minutes, then compare the temperature of the 2 lots of water. Right, back to my book. All right, time to check their temperatures. Wow, the unprotected jar is hardly warm at all now. Now for my heat-keeping jar. Aha! It's still almost as warm as when I put it in.
Grace's clever heat-keeping ideas worked for several reasons. Most effective of all, the lid stopped water evaporating and taking heat away in the process. Next most helpful, the air gap between the jars stopped heat travelling outwards. In much the same way as the cork stopped heat leaking out the bottom of the jar. The shiny foil also helps by keeping reflected heat trapped inside the jar.
My theories worked. Now I know how to enjoy a really nice warm cup of tea. Now, where was I?
Aha! Rebecca's got my game. Right. She's not leaving this room until she hands it over. If I press my arms hard against the door, she'll never push past me. Hey! Darn, never thought about that getaway. Hey! What's happening to my arms? They're pressing up by themselves. That is so weird. They've never done it before. I wonder why. Let's see. I was standing with my arms pressed hard against the door for about a minute. Up they go! It's happening again! It's like one of those magic tricks that you see on TV.
It does look like a magician's levitation act, but this is a trick between your mind and your muscles. Jordan's brain tells his muscles to tense up so he can press against the door. When Jordan relaxes his arms, there is still tension stored in the muscles, causing his brain to send a signal to raise his arms.
My muscles have a mind of their own. And they've just helped me get my game back. Game over, Rebecca.
Well, at least Jordan found his game.
And I think Larissa might be about to find what she's been looking for too.
If meteors can be really big and fast moving through space, maybe they can be very small too. They could even be tiny specks of dust. That gives me an idea. I'm going to go hunting for micrometeors. This screen has plenty of dust on it. Maybe there are some micrometeors on there. I'll brush them onto this white paper so they're easier to see. That should do it. There are lots of tiny particles here. I can't tell if they've come from outer space just by looking at them. My trusty magnifying glass might help me. Yeah, some of the specks look shiny. I wonder if they're made of metal. I know some meteors have metals in them that are magnetic. So if I get my magnet, it might pick up any magnetic micrometeorites. Wow, some of them are sticking. Look at those. Could they be from space?
Space dust and particles are constantly entering the Earth's atmosphere. A lot of this dust has been travelling in space for millions of years. Many of these particles travel through the Earth's atmosphere until they hit the ground.
Wow! People spend millions of dollars looking for meteors in space, and all the time, tiny meteors were lying here right under my nose.
Which all goes to show some of the coolest science happens in your own house.
And we've got heaps more cool stuff ready and raring to go next time.
See you then. Coming up, find out how to make a fantastic fizzing wizard's cauldron.
Build a mini beach in your own backyard.
The ultimate test of strength for some tiny little eggs.
And creepy crawly spiders. Love them or leave them.
Ooh, Taryn, are you scared my big spider will eat you for dinner?
Nope. I love them. Some of my best friends are spiders. And I'm not the only one who thinks so.
Isn't he beautiful? This is Rex, my 8-legged friend. I think spiders are the most amazing creatures on the planet. Oh boy. Looks like Nicole is not a fan of spiders. You don't need to be afraid of him, Nicole. Here, have a close look. He won't hurt you. He just wants to play. Okay, time to prove to Nicole that spiders really are beautiful creatures. Look at that web. See how talented a builder that spider is? Spider webs are stronger than metal and stretchier than an elastic band. Don't you think that's amazing? She's not convinced. Well, you know spider webs are sticky. Have you ever wondered why spiders don't stick to their own webs? Come on, I'll show you.
Good old Fraser. He fancies himself as a wizard. Nice wand. Nice cape. Shame about the cauldron. And his magic spell looks like it's spelling disaster. I think he needs some help. For a start, let's get a better cauldron. It's here somewhere. Out go Mum's bulbs. Excuse me. And what do you think of that? Not exactly blown away. Right then. Back in a jiffy. Black paint. A quick squirt. A bit of Michelangelo magic. And before your very eyes, a ceramic pot plant turns into a top-of-the-line cauldron. Okay, show us your stuff, Fraser. Bat wings, snake's blood, and tap water. Right. Let's see some magic action then. In it goes. Stir it around. And nothing. Hey, I know just how to turn this lame act into a potion with real pizzazz.
Can't wait to see that. And I really can't wait to see how Michael's going to persuade poor old Nicole that spiders make the perfect pets.
I'm trying to convince Nicole that spiders are amazing animals. So I've decided to show her why they don't get caught up in their own sticky webs. Okay, let's take a piece of this sticky tape and pretend it's a spider's web. Now walk your fingers across it as if you were a tiny bug. Aha! Caught! You are gonna be dinner. Let's try that again. But this time, Nicole will have spider fingers. Dip your fingers in that oil and try again. Hey, now you're a slippery spider stalking across its web. Pretty clever of the spider, don't you think?
The tiny tips of a spider's legs are oily, and that keeps them from sticking to their own web. But there's another even cooler reason why spiders don't get stuck to their own webs.
And if I'm going to show Nicole why, we'll need plenty of these.
Fraser's poor old magic potion has been a real dud, but things are about to change. I've got a bottle of vinegar, more water, and some baking soda. But first, a disappearing act. Sorry, Fraser, but the real magic is about to begin. In goes some water. Fraser, if you please, a few drops of your green food colouring. And now a bunch of baking soda. Into the cauldron. Stir it up, Fraser. Looking good. Now for the vinegar. Stand by for this. Whoa! Sensational! Now that's what I call a magic potion.
Lara's magic potion is really a bit of simple kitchen chemistry. When vinegar and baking soda are mixed, they quickly react to create bubbles of carbon dioxide gas. Because the gas is not as dense as the water, the bubbles quickly float upwards and cascade out of the cauldron.
Great potion, Fraser. But we've made a bit of a mess. Oh well, I'm sure Mum will be able to make it disappear.
I'm with those guys. Mums are great at making messes disappear.
Don't know about that, Taryn, but I do know Ayman and Izar are about to find out how a beach can disappear.
Isa and I love living on a tiny island. Our beach is always changing. Yesterday the sand was high like that. Now it's flat. I wonder why the sand moves so much. There's only one way to find out. We'll make our own beach. Okay, the Ayman and Izar Beach Construction Company is open for business. Our paint roller container is just the right shape for a beach. I'll tip sand into the container. We'll cover the bottom, making the sand thicker at the shallow end. I think it needs a bit more. Good. That's our beach. Now Izar can pour in the sea. In the deep end. Slowly. Perfect. Now I'll use this banana leaf to make waves. I'll move it back and forth, just like the waves wash up and down the beach. Look, our beach sand is starting to move. The waves are washing the sand back into the ocean. So that's how our beach keeps changing.
Beaches continually change their shape depending on the strength of the waves. Big waves will suck sand from the beach and wash it out to sea. This is called erosion. Sometimes the beach sand is dumped offshore, making a sandbar some distance out. Then over time, waves will wash the sand back onto the beach again, building it up.
So that's why our beach looks different every day. Even on our tiny island, nothing stays the same.
I've just been out to the shops to buy a few groceries for Mum. Oh no! They packed the eggs at the bottom. Surely they must have broken with that heavy pumpkin sitting on top of them. Hang on. Not broken at all. Not even one. Maybe eggs aren't as fragile as I thought. Just how tough are you, little eggs? Time for an experiment. I need these 4 egg cups and 4 brave eggs. I better head outside for this, just in case there's a mess. I'll set up the 4 eggs in egg cups on some paper towel. Now we need something heavy to put on top of them. My school books are certainly heavy. They'll be perfect. I'll just try putting one book on first. Easy does it. Yeah, they seem to be taking the weight okay. Good eggs. Let's try more weight. I'll put the rest of my school books on top. I can hardly carry all these books to school each day, but the eggs seem to be able to hold them up easily. That is quite a big book stack, and it's all resting on the top of 4 little eggs.
The dome shape of the eggs means that the weight of the books is spread out along the width of each egg, instead of pushing down on any one spot. The strength of the dome shape makes it perfect for use in building. Architects have used the dome to hold up roofs for hundreds of years.
Cool! Eggs are a lot harder to squash than I thought. Oops, I think I just found their weakness.
Ha! I knew those eggs would come to a sticky end.
And while we're on the topic of sticky, why don't we see how Michael's going with his sticky spider webs?
Today I introduced Nicole to my Spidey friend Rex. Then I try to show her how clever spiders are to build such complicated webs. I even explained to her that their oily feet stop them from getting caught in their own webs. But she's still not a spider lover like me. I'm going to teach Nicole more about spiderweb construction. We're building our own web using sticky tape inside this door frame. Nicole is sure to like spiders when she knows how clever their webs are. We started by running a strip down the middle of the frame from top to bottom. Then we added cross threads, which all meet in the middle. Now here's the clever bit. We swapped to the other side of the web to build up the circular rows onto the cross threads. The sticky side of the tape is facing the other direction now, so only some of the threads are sticky from each side. When a spider is walking around on its web, it keeps to the non-sticky threads. Clever, eh? Okay, let's pretend these cotton balls are little insects that fly into the web. Crash! Into the web they go. See? Some of the cotton balls stick. Those ones are Spidey's dinner. Some of them escape because they flew into parts of the web that aren't sticky.
A spider's web is constructed with liquid silk. One kind of silk dries so that it's not sticky, while another kind stays sticky. Spiders know which strands are which, and with very careful footwork, they avoid the sticky strands. If they do step on the sticky parts, the oil on their feet saves the day.
Okay, let's see if Nicole has learnt to love spiders. Oh well, some people just don't appreciate genius, do they, Rex?
Do you think that's the end of Michael's attempts to turn Nicole into a spider lover?
I don't know, Dana, but I do know it's the end of another show. See you next time.